Greetings. You're live in the set with MRH off MRH Gifting Services. We're here getting it done one more can. As you see, let's get a time check real quick. Where we at? We just live in the set, getting it done like we always do. So, as you get the full commentary through the weightlifting, the breath technique, the full squat, so you know what a regular squat is like when you're squatting up or squatting down. When you naturally carry the full squatter's position, you understand the nature of form. Right here, you know you're in a full squat. Can't squat down no longer. As I power up into the power clean position, back flips, and I'm right here. Back up. This is 400 pounds. We've been working out 400 pounds all summer long just for the 4.0 in GPA effect, or truth, or science. So, as you see this happening, we're actually twisting the 400 pounds back into place. We've given you the breakdowns. You know it's 400 pounds moving forward and back. The catch to it, and which makes this lift actually harder, is we have to move the mat. And that's where all the concentration gets broken. So when you got a good momentum going, and you got to stop and readjust, come back to the game and figure it out. That's where we show the poise and conditioning and the reality of the start and stop and go. So I show you this predominantly on this type of tarmac. So normally you be in your momentum, you be right here, back up, and you keep going. And I'll keep going for another 3 or 4 and have to move the mat. And what that does is it breaks all your momentum and all your concentration. So you have to start all over again. When you're lifting weights and you get into your zone or your mindset, those are the type of things that they teach you to avoid. So if you can get past it, as I have, and I show you the disciplines in doing so, you'll have a better reality of what that's about. And of course, I give it to you with the breath technique. Still holding the reins. Not too tired, but we're working it out. So as we twist and grind, back to the forward motion. And right before you see the full momentum loss, you gotta readjust the mat. You'll start understanding what that's like in a real game situation. You ain't gotta adjust the mat. The momentum keeps flowing, and the energy that produced becomes power. Within that power, it is driven by momentum. Within that momentum, the work that is being done is moving the 400 pounds, grinding, twisting, power squatting into power clean motion, getting back into place, and relifting. So it becomes harder when you know you have to adjust the mat just to get a good lift in. Now we're on a mat there's a carpet, and then under the carpet there's a mat. So we're dealing with about an extra 2.5, 3 inches of foam and carpet, which in turn makes the bag harder to pick up and actually move. So we're dealing with an extra 3 inches where the weight itself, because we grind and twist it back into place, keeps it kind of stagnated at about 1 inch to 2 inches from its normal 3 inches and what it should be. So when we're normally just on a regular tarmac, and it's about 1/4 inch from the grind of the weight, we get major lift. Here, this causes more friction in the actual lift, which in turn just means you got to lift the weights a little bit more powerfully to get in to what that means. So you're dealing with a 1/4 inch to 2 inches of bare bottom necessity to actually move the weight, or a 3.5 inch tarmac off the actual floor. So when we get back to our regular tarmac, which would be naturally 3/4 of an inch, after the weight is moved on it, you understand releasing the 1.5 inches that in friction base naturally causes it harder to lift. Also breaks the momentum of the lift. So with the mat, then the rug, then the mat underneath the rug, it makes the lift harder. More friction, more height to pick up the weight from the full squat position. So we're actually getting an extra 1/4 inch to 2 inches of friction that's not going to be there in a regular tarmac on the ground lift after the weight has pretty much subsided into about 1/2 inch off the ground. So the bag wouldn't even be touching the ground when we power lift up from the full squat, and would actually be into a sway motion. And that would be something like this. How the bag just swayed, and I ended up here. Now you take away 1/4 inch of the tarmac to the ground, and the bag actually sways easier than that. So we show you that dimension because it's momentum. So when the momentum, again, is ground level and we're moving the weight is being picked up. It's 400 pounds here. We're just getting nice because, you know, GPA. We're doing some DNA matches throughout the child support system of MRH Gifting Services. So our private DNA testing has came across a lifting 400 pounds over the summer months and getting nice in the 4.0 category of the GPA throughout our ranks. Now what that means is when you first try this lift out, you just see me talking to you, you think probably only about, maybe 150 pounds. You just got to stuff down, ain't nothing really in it. So when we get into the competition mode, you start realizing, this is real. This is really 400 pounds being moved. We've had it at 500, 550. And we're just getting comfortable. So for those who want to actually try the lift out and see how it works for themselves, see how their body reacts to it, what type of soreness comes over them. It's a full body workout, meaning it works everything. It takes every part of you to lift this weight, at this level, to feel the actual results. Now, again, I've addressed you in these matters within proper order. So, again, we show you proper form. You're liable to see this at, when I think I started at 175 pounds. Have on no shirt, just some shorts and some hoop shoes, some ones. And I went from 175 pounds to 225 pounds after the first strap broke on the left hand side, breaking every curse on the left hand side. And when the first strap broke on my bag, we was pumping 175, 180 pounds. And we had, I think I was doing, hour sets, 60 minutes, 120-minute sets. Just, getting nice, working on my form. I knew I was going to be getting to some heavier weights. So having that base of acknowledgement established. After we got through that process, you had a chance to see me at 225, 250, 275, and then get into the 300s. So I was hitting 300, and I'm still working on my form. The bag is just swaying everywhere. And I'm still getting lift, but it's too much lift. So I'm in shape, and it's feeling pretty good, but I'm getting so much lift, it's feeling like the 400 pounds is now. The bag is just swaying on me. So we have 400 pounds and we have a nice sway going on. And when you feel that type of resistance in a long distance presidium within its content, that's what we were looking for. We knew what 300 pounds felt like. We had went for, I think, about an hour, 20 minutes, or 40 minutes at 300 pounds, no camera, just working on our form. But when we touched 400, 450, 475, we didn't get the actual sway that we wanted. So when I took the time out to work on the set, we want an actual sway at 400 pounds. So when you see it now, you see the bag actually lift up and actually sway at 400 pounds pretty much every rep. So it's swaying back and forth, and we got the proper friction ratio going on with 3 different tarmacs down, causing a difficult level of friction for the bag to even get up off the ground to move. Now, when I address this, as when we started at 175, you can see the bag just being tossed. Got to 185, 200, 250 pounds. The bag was just being tossed. It was still, 3.5 to 5 inches coming up off the actual tarmac. And you can see a full sway. And so when we got comfortable with that, you can see how that works when you're first starting out. So when you get here and you start feeling the friction-based vitalities, this is where the work actually gets done. So the bag is weighted down. So when you're not top heavy and you're bottom heavy, all the weight flows to the bottom when we pick up. So that means we're not tricking or fooling anyone. We're not leaning forward because the weight is all up here at the top to make it look like it's moving. So when I power lift up, the bag actually has to be power squatted up because all the weight flows to the bottom of the bag. The full 400 pounds. So it's like being weighted down. Then we grind and twist it here. And we're showing you that on a bar effect, the weight is extended, of course, and it's equally divided right and left. Here, you have full center of gravity with your thrust up, moving from the center of your body and your lift, and then the bag is moving. So if you're accustomed to the outer grip of the bar, here we have the inner grip, and it's using, of course, handles. And we power lift up from the full squat, and the bag sways. So when we get that type of movement, that type of friction, and we evolve into 2.5 to 3 inches of tarmac being the friction, then we settle back down and go with one tarmac, and with the bag's weight, after a full few production sets, the tarmac will obviously be down to about 1/2 inch to, of course, 1/4 of an inch. And you'll be able to see the bag just fully sway. But without seeing it here, you don't have those particulars to balance the game off of. So let's say you're writing a book. It's a novel. And you got about 100 pages to go. 100 pages is about the thickness of 2 tarmacs and a rug. So the friction would be, if you grabbed 100 pages of just regular lined notebook paper, that's about how thick it is all the way through. Take away, 75 pieces, and that would be the size of the regular tarmac when it's actually worked out on and been used a few times, to understand the difference in the nature of the bag moving off the ground. All the weight, of course, shifting to the bottom, making it impossible to move. Talk about being weighted down. So, when you have these effects, we use what is called the interest of language to show you holding the reins here is like a harness effect. So if you ever dealt with the harness and running against harness energy and wind energy, you will have those simplistics addressed. But when you're dealing with, say you may have ankle weights and a belt weight, but it's only 10 pounds on each ankle weight, and your belt weight is about 20 pounds. And you know what that feels like running in a harness when you take it off. Well, when we address those particulars, this is like the harness, because you got to hold on to something. So this is harnessing the weight. Lay it down, 400 pounds. Pull it back, 400 pounds. We get to our squatter's position. Get ready to lift from here. 400 pounds. Moving every time. So you know what it's like when you just, you got 50 extra pounds on you. You're doing some harness weight. You know, it's like you're just doing, maybe 100 pounds. And you're moving a sleigh, and you're pulling the sleigh behind you. Well, here, this changes everything from behind you to being in front of you. So, you know the gravitational pull of being pulled backwards, but still being able to go forward. Well, here, we put all the momentum in front of you and downward to see if the weight can still move. So within momentum, this is moving, of course, front, back, side to side, forward and down. But each way, we have a downward motion and a forward process. So our forward gain in this momentum would suggest that this is impossible to do. What I mean by impossible to do, the momentum of this is downward. So when you let go, everything shifts back to its natural state of equilibrium. So as we push forward and exercise everything in the motion of going downward and forward and side to side, and of course back down and forward this direction as I'm pulling it onto us, all those movements count for the full duration of the lift within difference. So when you see it and it's lighter, it works the same core areas. When you see it and it's heavier, it works the same core areas and some. So we have to explain what the weight is like on the outer extremity on the bar. When you get the outer workout, and that's the weight on the outside, and you get into that, power lift up, and all that is also equally, of course, distributed and divided as weight also. But when everything is hitting the core inner circle of your values, you'll start understanding the type of person you are, what you can do, why the skill and agility is processable. Now, you've seen me call this my linebacker drill. So if I was a linebacker, I believe maybe about 20 sets ago, I was talking about my linebacker drill. We were inside. It wasn't outside yet. And we're talking about the linebacker drill. This, in its positional content, gets you right and ready for that outside. Now we're outside in the outer extremity from the inner. And we're moving in the same way. On the inside, we was moving, I think, 475. We was doing this and I was explaining it as a linebacker drill. Here, I'm explaining at 400 pounds with the 4.0 in the summer months to get nice to address some of the educational issues. So, our added implementation is we're still remaining calm. You got to read the play. So if I'm a linebacker, the goal is to make the down. If I make the down, and all my momentum I'm lifting is from and going to the down forward motion from here, I'm going to make the down. It's going to make processable sense as a linebacker drill. Again, this bag is usually a punching bag or what I call a dummy bag. So we lift it till it breaks. Till the strap breaks, grinds out on the bottom, run through the tarmac, whatever comes first. So we address that as just working through the dummy bag. So when you see it on camera, it's not to be discouraged because of the mass amount of weight that's being moved as you're being talked to. It's to understand the camp and the session to get ready for real life situations. Now, of course, this is all in sporting jargon and the realities of its usage. So we're breaking the spell on the dummies rather than the dummy bags. So don't get things confused in that mannerism of content. But that's for the intellectual property of the camp. Or what you're seeing right now. Now, in the masculine, you got to get hyped up and amped up to get it done. We show you the calm version with the breath technique talking to you so you know that it's possible. So you can recover and come back and get right again. So the whole time where you're being talked to and you're getting this commentary, this is working on your full cardiovascular, the full form of the lift. Then after you get through that, you get nice, you got some form, you got a rhythm, then you got to break it. And as you break your momentum, and you see me on this tarmac break it, and have to go back, shift, realign, and get it done, you'll understand what that's like in full momentum. So it's good enough to call this practice, or what I called it before, the intermediate sessions. So when you see it at full play and at full work, it's designed for health and fitness, of course, to strengthen your endurance, keep you strong, of course, and give you faith in the ability of your skill. Now, when I do it from here, this isn't to interject a possibility. What I'm saying is this is really happening. So it's not to be indifferential throughout someone else's competitive nature. This is what I do. So I'm not addressing any one person, calling anyone out of their in particular situation. But in all duration of getting strong, healthy, back into gameplay, that is the attitude and the mind state to compete, if that was the situation. So here, PowerPoint presentation, lifting 400 pounds. You know you ain't lying because it's in the full squat, looking up at the camera, bag is swaying. When I catch my footing, bag's all the way down here. Bag's moving. 400's moving. So when you've seen it at 500 pounds, and you can go back and see this on camera, the bag was moving, but we just had one tarmac down. So at one tarmac, the bag was moving, getting its full rotation from the squat, but it was stagnated within the actual lift. So as I process the power lift and you see me squat, it's to be careful, to show you use all of your safety mechanisms, wear a belt. If you're starting out, make sure your shoelaces are tied. If you got high tops, wear your high tops to protect your ankles. Wear 2 pairs of socks. And of course, you know, your gym gear, sweats, shorts, whatever. I personally like the jeans and the t-shirt or even the button-up shirt to get used to controlling my own body temperature within clothes. And I do that because when I was just no shirt, shorts, and just hoop shoes, that was the building mechanism to getting here. To say we're all geared up now. So, wear a backpack, throw on a hat, my do-rag, sweat it all out. So, if it ever comes down to game time, being in a uniform, throwing the helmet, the shoulder pads, all that necessity is realistic, processable. So, against my opponent in a game time situation, my skill and agility would show this as being remarkable. Now, of course, it takes other practice. You got to sprint, got to get in shape. But this is the core ethics of that and doing it long distance. Our stride is moving in that vernacular, in that area of conditioning. 400 pounds, it'll be 400 pounds on the field when I'm sprinting, getting nice, being stretched out, worked out, and getting into a sprinter shape, and also having the endurance to play a full game and playing 2 positions. So, and not varying from my athletic nature, this is perfect for, of course, the All-American receiver honors, and then stepping into the same defensive back honors as I spoke about, as a linebacker drill. It's just when you're at the top of your game and things are being worked out, you have to be able to show this type of work ethic and ability to succeed. Because it's easy to fall into the game and get doubted. So when you have this type of personification of your person, you got to understand it's not coming from, oh, he just silently worked out, came up, and just try to just trick everybody. This is through full opposition. This is through full opponent gratification in their own demise at point of deception. So when I started working out and doing this, of course, all of the foul mouth, bad words is being said about me, but this is what they can't authenticate within its indirect misdirection. So you can't get down like this, do all of that. I mean, you can try, but by this time you're so inbred in your own conditioning scheme, you no longer process them. We've hit the 1,000,000 pounds of weight moved already. Not really thinking about it, not really catching it on camera. So when we hit 1,000,000 pounds moved, that is the full squat to the bent over row, picking the bag up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then grind and twist from here back to the front, still 400 pounds, still moving. That's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, back down 11, 12. So the bag in each rep is moving about 12 times, 10, 8 from 8 to 12 times. 400 pounds. So it's roughly 4,000 pounds at 10 reps each rep that we get done right here. So when we move 1,000,000 pounds total during the sessions, they were saying all types of things. He's obese, and this and that. So I'm about, 5'11", 6'1", and can get it done. Got rods. Got hops, got the ability. So we chilled with this lift. Started running hills. Some of the steepest hills, just right around here in my area. Didn't think too much of it, got in shape a little bit. And we were sprint hills, fully geared up, carrying groceries. Uphill. Jog, jeans, boots, coat, headphones, t-shirt, button. So those are the working conditions. I have veered from stepping onto a track to get the sprinter work done, because from this area standpoint, the long distance procession to the start will be quick enough to suffice after 40 to 60 meters in this type of lift. So we plan to be right around the 4-1, 4-2. Once we, get into an open field situation, work out some of the sprinter kinks just to get nice in the football shape, if that comes to order. So as you see this, I upload my stuff, download my stuff, executively produce all my works. I'm always off MIS Get these services. So the notoriety, the process of getting that administration part done is also edified through this content. With that being said, we got to check the time, make sure we're still rolling on the camera. And we're still rolling on the camera. So when we get to the divide of, you've seen the PowerPoint presentation, over and over again. Broken the curses, right and left side. In that duration, throughout, of course, the promotional consideration of, alcoholic beverages, cigars, championships, winning, we have worked through that commemoratively through these workouts and continually, broke the bag, the dummy on the dummy strap, right and left hand side. None of those adverse effects will be into play. So, in the celebration mode, all of those considerations, of course, play their proper role. So when we deal with maybe some of our sponsors are alcoholic beverages, they do alcohol. So beer ain't nothing but wheats and barley and the 5.6% alcohol that's actually in the beer. So when we work through it, we show you the due process. Oh, it's cool. We didn't broke the spell on all the personifications in person of that, but we celebrate right now. So we address the child support issues. We address the DNA testing. Through that process, breaking the spell and the curse of the personification of it being bad for you. Of course, don't drink and drive. Always have a designated driver. Of course, stay at home if you are drinking, chill, stay night, or sleep in your car. Keep the keys in the passenger seat. We all know how that floats and how that works. But what our main concern is that after you've been filed against, because you might look good, you have some game, and you've been filed against, and it's vaccinations that are filed against, because it's in person, it's child support, it's filed against your whole existence of being. She's got a lawyer, lawyers got lawyers, the lawyers is connected with the real lawyers, and the real lawyers is connected with the real lawyers, and the game gets down like that. And all of a sudden you just filed again. But of course, you're a nice person, you got all your stuff together, considering you're somewhat like me at some point. So as we're lifting weights, and it's not an alternative medicine, we want to show you that alcohol percentage when you're filed against comes into play in all of the vaccination processes. And you know what alcohol does. So when you're, of course, under the influence, in this procession, you wouldn't be under the influence as negligent to the actual motive of alcohol. You actually understand beer is just wheats and barley and alcohol. And that's all it is. A plant that grows, that mixes with alcohol. Now, as natural oxygen just mixing with alcohol, this becomes part of the vaccination process. So, we want you to understand the jargon that you may hear during those processes. Someone say, they said poisoned or something like that. Well, that's because somewhere down the line, someone's filed against. Alcohol is the actual remedy through the case, but you've accepted the emotional content of where it has become a poison or something of that matter, where it is not true. So it's actually a part of the alcohol base that you would see in the proportion of healing and cleansing on a commercial level, so to speak. So we want you to be viable through those processions of litigation. So you understand when you hear that and it's in your vernacular of concern, your area of parsonage, more likely somewhere down the line someone's filed against, and it's filed against through, natural vaccinations, immunizations, and all that. And you have to take into consideration taking care of yourself, getting, the percentage of alcohol you need to clean your system on a regular basis. Because, you look good. And you're respectable and sociable enough to be able to kick it and be responsible. So we want to show you going through those processes, what that's about. So don't fall for that implementation of it unless you understand those type of things can be going on. So as you see him promoted and advertised, it can have that reasoning. When you see it here, doing a heavy bag power lift, getting power clean throughout the process of DNA testing, PowerPoint presentations. This is the real effect that we set off at 1,000,000 pounds move. So when you're up against pretty much all of everything, you'll understand these aren't alternatives. These are some of the grassroots and foundations of where it came from. So it's not to be discouraged from having a good time. Just to show you, watch out for some of the things you may observe to become, of course, considered that party in that implementation of literature or litigation, whichever it may be. Again, I address those matters with concern through a PowerPoint presentation, because you never know who our sponsors are going to be. You never know the complete full duration of what's really going on. But in that focus, in that sobriety, again, these are thoughts that are thought about prior to the filing against, anybody with a little bit of game that's having things. So it's far, long, and well thought out before you could even buy your own, of course. So you have to be aware of those considerations in that type of environment. But as you get through that and you work through it, you'll see why I persevere here to make the difference and keep the strategy affluent with all due respect. So when there's no disrespect, the weight's being moved, you're being told how things actually evolve into a systematic device to be against one who was, of course, prolific enough to be in the professional ranks and collegiate ranks, but had to subside the argument for the child's sake to show that you can't argue with no baby around. Baby's still asleep. So we take you through those processes to show you not filing, but coming to an agreement through a real immunization or a vaccination process. So if you've never seen someone lift 400 pounds for an hour before, long distance heavy bag, you'll understand this is why we do this. As a slight inkling of the game that is bestowed unto you while we just on camera. So you have to be aware and learn to adjust. So they're not the cause of this, as in being a opposite or an opponent to this lift getting done. This is just the natural will of me wanting to get up and be successful. So it didn't take someone else's notoriety, whether it be positive or negative, to get me here. So no one can take glorification or gratification of that. But it did take the possibility of understanding the gratuity of privacy and confidentiality when you are wrong as an opponent within its compensation and right. That's why we look to the leagues now. In the PowerPoint presentation, get fully geared up in the uni, be on the sideline, warming up during this lift, game time, doing this lift on the sideline, fully geared up, helmet, shoulder pads, pants, cleats, and just doing the lift on the sideline as an agility towards just being athletic. So when you see this ability on the field, it's not hurting anybody, but it's fair gameplay. It's justifiable. Now, because it is, of course, offense and defense coming from me, my statutes would be, of course, double pay for play. So I'm playing both sides of the ball in the field, even though I'm on the sideline, I'm on the field. I'm lifting, say, 475. My man's in there is recording live. You know, whoever it is, WWE, dot. Ask a question. You know, what's going on with me while I'm on the sideline handling this? I'm presenting the agility and the ability to leaving it all on the field. So if you can see this, first quarter, second quarter, halftime go in, come back out, third quarter, fourth quarter, in the game, and the full lift is being done, I'm presenting that ability on the field. My opponents probably can't do this from inception and continue on to build within a commentary, breath technique, being nice in the game, full squatters position. And at this length, at 50 minutes, still powerlifting up. Getting it out, getting it done. Bag still moving, bag still flipping on the tarmac. So, within the agility to show a skill level, just leaving it on the field. I'm 39, didn't have to touch the rock. Stayed in the game because I'm life enough to have the athletic mind state, but understood the competition, where things were going. So you have all this document. I have 61, 62, 63 full power lifts totally uploaded on YouTube. We broke every curse on the 6-bag, third pull up for the 369 correlation and all that stuff. Now we have 62, 63 uploaded full power clean lifts timed on our squat app. Breaking the same curse and the same conception as uploading 60 plus lifts. Now this discredits as far as not being able to count the other lifts I couldn't put up. So really it doesn't discredit them, but they're just not up on YouTube. So there's been at least 15 to 20 lifts that I haven't been able to upload just due to some of the jogging, some of the MCing I was doing when we were rapping at Rhyming got heated, you know, and I still had to appeal to my crowd. You know, those were still under 18, how to deal with them. So you guys are missing about 10 to 15 uploads. I just had to erase. Couldn't even upload. We had broken records. We had one we were at 1 hour, 35 minutes lifting. I checked the time, come back, and my whole thing shut down. My whole battery just shut down and the whole thing erased. So we had broken our record, full commentary, as you see now, and we're stepping back into the game at like 1 hour, 58 minutes, and the whole thing is shut down. And we're, you know, right around 200, 225 at ease, power cleans. And there's been other times where it's been 2 hours, 20 minutes getting it done. So you have the natural effect and process that you're probably looking for in a million pounds being moved. In our PowerPoint presentation, we have been through the collage of information against MRH as far as, just natural courses of education. I just happened to do it live in the set. So when it came down to, is this credible? What is really going on? That was documented and secured, of course, through due process. So I show that as not being a vulnerability, but this is how you work with it, or this is how I work with it. So there's a process to agree if you are independent, looking to agree and understand that this is just true. And it's matter of fact. Scientifically, it can be applied and has been applied and has been denied. So going through all those processes, the weight still moves. The weight still fluctuates. We decided to stay at 400 for the 4.0 through the full DNA testing, through the full oppositional containment, we still denied him when he was here. See, but this is all through DNA testing. This is all through child support services, just from Michael R. Henry as parental planning. So it's good and safe to know, a child can say, well, my dad is the strongest long distance heavy bag weightlifter in the world or in the earth right now. We don't say that to brag, but we show you the vulnerability of not instilling the values that will allow them to be successful. So they actually do have a support system. And not just someone telling them what to do, who can nurture and care for them. But, push come to shove, you're living in a day and age where they've been talking about the end of the world since the beginning of it. And you're living through the time passages, the equinoxes, the millenniums, eons, decades, where so much is happening, so much is taking place, and we continually keep on striving to meet our goals and be successful. So here we're still moving the way. If we gotta get a time check, make sure the camera's still rolling. So where we at? Okay, camera's still rolling. And as we take you through that, commentary, breath technique, it's understood in its gratitude of perception. Where else are you gonna get footage like this? So when you're laying in your bed and you see the full exorcism happening, but you may be listening to it with your headphones, of course, you're falling asleep, and it's real good sleep. Because, working out here, working out right now, this type of lifting will, kind of keep you tired enough to get real good sleep. So if you're listening to it at nighttime and you agree, you get very good sleep when you listen to this. It is very power clean sleep. It is very therapeutic, power clean sleep. So therapeutic, we even use anti-microbial soap we lay down sometimes when we lift, or antibacterial soap. So if you're into real clean sleep, you understand lifting weight like that, even if this wasn't 400 pounds for the 4.0 session. So if you're disagreeable in how much weight it is, you just don't believe. So even if it was 100 pounds, at this level you would still be tired and still be able to get good, considerable sleep. So we take you through those common vaccinations. We take you through those common naturalizations, basic cures for insomnia, and you can't sleep that well, and sleepwalking and things like that. So when you listen to a calm nature, a calm spirit, lifting very heavy weights, being very careful, being very relaxing, being very therapeutic, it's realistic in its parsonage or in its jargon or where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? So with the same effort it takes to be successful, the same mechanism it takes to attain your goals. So, as you see this, when you lift to it, you fall asleep to it. It's nighttime now. It's about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And, you're all snug in bed, you took your shower, and you went through your regular therapeutic at home, at the crib stuff. You fall asleep listening to me. You just lift power cleans in your ear all night long. Just cleaning up the scum and ill-manneredness and false accusations and just despicable, deplorable type of jargon that has been said about one's nature, and having to be honored in its masculine without deception, or figuratively being misconceived, we still get it done right here. So, with it being less impersonal, but more therapeutic, as you agree, and it binds to the healing process, to the hymnal discretion, you have to understand it. You'll get better sleep. You'll think clearer because it's cleaner. You understand the nature of touch. I do power cleans. So, at the height of weight moved, this is power cleans. At the discretion of how it moves, this is power clean. So it moves downward. So when you lay down, it's still moving. It's still power clean. This doesn't situate you as being sleepy for no reason or tired for no reason. This is when it's time to go to bed. You go to bed. That's what keeping rare form is about in this lift. That's what keeping on going is about in this lift. To a work ethic. So when you're being talked to and told to, you keep your core values. 9, 10 o'clock, you ain't out kicking it. Ain't the weekend, you got to go to work. Having a little bit of trouble sleeping, boom. Pop in MRA's gifting services. Full power clean squats. Hypnotic motion. So when you see the bag sway, back and forth, that is a hypnotic motion of staying power clean. But if you hear it, that's fine too. That's still emotion of power clean. But if you watch it, that is the common visual that you want to keep. So when you respect the weight after you've disagreed and say, probably not 400 pounds because I don't look that big in person, but it is 400 pounds. Or when you see me lift 550, you say probably not 550 pounds, but it is. You'll start having those core values instilled about agreement in the unbelief of why we do this lift, why I upload it on YouTube, why I present a commentary for a breath technique, and continually iterate the health portion of its magnitude. Completely getting it done. Seriously getting it done. So, today we're wearing our belt. We got the Gold Gems belt on. And of course we're breaking a record today. So the belt will, of course, suffice for itself. And, breaking a record today. So, in some sit-down situations, you might have another belt, allow a cutie to throw on the belt real quick. Feel the nature of the full support being met while breaking records. So this summer we haven't went over, I don't think, an hour and 30 minutes weightlifting. So we'll see what we're going to do around then. See how it feels. See if we still got some time left on the camera clock. And if we're able to keep on going. Still hear the weights planking. Back still moving. Going back and forth. Now this might be short film version, maybe theater edit cut. We'll check and get a time check real quick. See where we're at on time. Okay, so we're at an hour and 7 minutes, which isn't bad. Now some movies, they're decent. An hour, 20 minutes. getting it done. So an hour and 7 minutes with the actual belt. This has never been done before, actually wearing the belt. So we definitely would like to show you why we entertain the weightlifting here, wearing a belt right now. And popping back into it. Now, because we're wearing a belt, we have applied at this point in time a little bit of antimicrobial soap. It's not too much, it's just enough to work out with. So, not a whole lot, but it's just enough to work out with to get that squeaky clean feeling effect that's needed. Now, what this does is it lubricates the tarmac when it gets dried up and it can't move no more because of how many times I've actually moved it. And the bag starts tearing, or the actual tarmac or mat starts tearing up from the weight pressure. But if you know what 400 pounds looks like, it feels like it doesn't really make a difference with a little bit of antimicrobial. So if you're into that. Now for the ladies who's, new to their household stuff, you're sitting up on their washer and dryers, this is perfect to watch on your full wash mode and full dry mode. On your washer and dryer. Just for the chicks that's trying to get nice in the game, having things, and need a visual of what power cleans can be about at this level. Now, as you notice, not too much has changed. You still get the full movement and sway of the bag. So if you go back and you see before we put down just a little bit of the antimicrobial, that would be considered the very end of the lift. There's not too much of a difference if you see the last 10 that I did. What you may notice is the bag still swayed the same distance, the same direction. So when you're moving that much weight, you'll have that indifference to value when it comes down to money time. Those are things that are going to make sense. So if we're on the sideline and I'm cleaning up in this fourth quarter, let's say first half, this is over. First half took about an hour. And that hour's cooked. Didn't get no commercial breaks. I'm just on the sideline lifting weights. Camera in front of me, where I am right now, but I'm fully geared up. And of course, I might have a water dude that gives me, the squirt of Gatorade while I'm lifting. And a little of that barely trickles on the tarmac. So we're taking you through, in particulars, through the process. That's what that PowerPoint presentation would look like. Those are the values that you might want to be note-taking about because of how the lift actually looks. Now, again, if they put down a little bit of vaccination, antimicrobial soap on the sideline, of course, makes it all the better. But you'll understand that you're still getting the full nature of the lift, and it's happening in the full friction base even when there's no antimicrobial soap laid down. So we want to show you those particulars because it's not a sales call. This isn't something that we want to sell ourselves. We want to sell the lift to. This is a new invention that's described for the full agility and the full range of motion. So when you leave it on the field, no one gets hurt. Majority of the time, you have about 20 games a season. We've done about 60 reps, at realistic weights. So all those values are considered in the PowerPoint presentation. After going through these implementations, you can start making your decision process. It's game time. You want to see this on the field? Shoulder pads, game shirt, last name on the back, numbered, clowning on the sideline. But I say that because right now, I've been in the game at 39, lifting conducively over 200 pounds of my body weight for the past 6 years. Before I started lifting this bag, I was just doing regular conditioning, of course, hill sprints, court work on the hoop, dunking, reversing, track work, 400s, 800s, field work, 1640s, all of that. Sit-ups, push-ups. And then I started doing this lift, just by note of encouragement, something I had thought about when I was coming up, what it would be like. So as I put it all together, made it come to pass, and just my regular workout. Now we're here, taking it to the next level. Requires the breath technique to show the intensity of long distance. When you see this at a calm ratio, you understand we can keep on going. This will allow other people to have a fluent and be persuasive when they watch this lift in consideration of being a fan or being totally nice with game and understanding the consideration of conditioning. What it takes to just really want to sit down and think about doing something like this, let alone actually doing it. So the athletic mind state, the training affects the ability to want to see yourself and visualize being here is realistic throughout our goal orientation. So this isn't nothing new for me as far as wanting to do this lift. It's just what it took to get here. Gave every possibility of everything I put into my natural ability to be here in my supernatural ability doing this. We've addressed the concert ratio. We wanted to present this in concert, of course. It's live. So you understand the distance, if just I wasn't talking, retaining all of that energy and just lifting and getting it done. Normally, phone doesn't have that much data to hold over, hour, 30 minutes. We're talking concert, 3 hours, 4 hours, of course, in the icon window set, lifting the weights like this, crowd jumping 3-4 hours, everything moving. And we're breaking the record at, 575, 600 pounds. So we've had that time to enjoy the building ratio into that after you've seen it at 550, 555. Last 400. It's a good weight to allow the sway to continue to happen with a little bit of friction because it has that 4.0 appeal. So when we step into the 600s, 700s, and we're going for an hour, hour and a half, or we're in a concert at 630, 670, and we have our 4.0 in the summer months congruently being evolutionized through DNA testing of course, all the scientific research, all the true research, and even in its magical state, having a fluent of keeping its truth through the boundaries of course, this type of existence. So as we have all that working together, calmly, in course order, it produces this type of nature. So if I wasn't commentating and I'm holding back the breath technique, keeping speech, eye contact, all that, and I'm just on stage in the icon window, lifting the weight, might as well call my hour and a half, 2 hour lift 4 hours. But that's in concert setting. So we're talking about gang time. We in a football gang, and it's regular season, and we banging out full regular season sets, once a week. We live Monday Night Football. Mike Henry on the sideline, holding it down. 575, full power cleans. Let's go. Who's gonna be there, really? Really? So we have that computation. We know what that's about. So when we ask for the dollar amount, the royalties, the discipline, hard work, and ethics show to claim first. Then the ability to deal suitably and, of course, invite others. So they can get good at it. Because someone might be good at just 20 minutes and just can't go no more. Someone might be getting nice at a half hour and just can't go no more. So when we're at an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're lifting twice my weight. This is 400 pounds, I'm about 200 pounds right now. And it feels good. I remember when I was 550, thinking about, okay, I'm carrying me, a kid, and my girl with me. And they're in front of me as I'm holding the reins and this full power clean. You know what I'm saying? So I know the goal orientation and expectation. 600 pounds is going to be nice with a full 400-pound circuit like this. I reiterate that because it is educational jargon for the 4.0 GPA segment. And doing the lift at this equality in long distance. So it's not a impersonation of me, Michael R. Henry. It's not someone else has came across my ability in ledger writing. It is the actual executive order of producing works that, of course, conglomerate to this effect. It's just to state and show that, it's true. It ain't a big deal. But this is what we do. This is what an executive producer would do to keep his executive production on time. This is what a writer would do of executive works for production, to keep his production mechanisms in place and intact. So these are the things that you have to jot down and take for value. So when you look for these attributes, they're not concerns within the process. This is how we get it done. Full range of motion in mankind is fully processable. You record it, go back, check it out. It's on YouTube. Cleans all of your YouTubes, all your tubes. Power clean your tubes. The precise gesture has a mechanism of the aforementioned. So a vaccination, immunization. So YouTube, load up to YouTube, cleans all your tubes. I'm just doing power cleans long distance. So bearing that effect is considered for civilization, mankind, dealing with the beautifulness of womankind. And that's just in a matter of respect. That's how things just flow. So we're going to get a time check. Make sure the camera is still rolling. The camera is still rolling. Why it is, we do not know. But it is still on and going. Usually when we get to this time, camera has stopped completely. I went an extra 10, 15 minutes. Don't even know. I just have to shut down before production. But the work ethic gets done. The touch. To be touched. Full power clean is a part of its condolences through the writers category when being accepted for awards and anything of that nature. We also made the hat. Wearing a new hat. We made the belt and the hat. This go around. Normally I don't wear a hat, or if I do, it's just my beanie. It's like beanie T-top. But I bought a new brim, rocked a new brim, and made the new brim. So we didn't make the brim, the belt. Of course, the gloves. The gloves is hitting an hour, 30 minute set. For all those who didn't have understanding of it within its ability. So we got the gloves, the hat, the belt, the scarf, the jeans, the boots. Can't knock the boots. So, it's up bag. Definitely sewing up bag. They need that extra oomph sometimes to be assured that it's their man. So, when you hear it from me and you see it from me, you have those focal points of contact. Sometimes women can get lost and confused without their man showing them who they are. Consistently holding their way, pulling their own way, double times their way. It's the grown man love. So, when it's all applied and applicable, you have that distance of mentioning. So if you can't go there, and you understand the gesture of the implication, you'll understand what that's like. You say, yeah, somebody asks you, can you lift 400 pounds for 2 hours straight? You say, nah, I can't lift 400 pounds for 2 hours straight. You'll understand getting there and being there in its commentary stage of that gesture. Now, that's of great importance because I know I've been there with the camera stopping and I'm having to go back and realize, okay, I checked that. Hour 45 minutes and the whole thing is just shut off on me. And it ain't enough data on the data card to hold all the information that's been uploaded, that's being recorded. When that happens, I know I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting something done. It's viable for the privacy and confidentiality rights for certain stages throughout the case studies. For instance, the momentum stops. The momentum stops, you be like, damn, I'm gonna go no more. I'm gonna start all over. Get back down right here. Yank the shit back to you. Get right here. Good night. The momentum stops are important. If you work through them through a full procession, you can get into the jargon that I showed you, like not accepting the pro loss and staying true freshman undefeated. That type of jargon is the healthcare essentials that when you get to the momentum stops and you got to go start over and go again. When I let go of the reins and it's 400 pounds and I'm lifting half my weight, all that leaves. So in a long distance set, we're able to continue not only the breath technique, the jargon of the gesturing, getting into the healthcare portion in a serious application. Meaning, certain things you'll take for granted, you'll hear about it, and you say, oh, this is the real thing, it's the real deal. And you can accept those values finally. We want to get you to those key standpoints in your own thinking that you've never accepted before. Just because you didn't know, what did you have to pay for it? Is it for free? What does it mean? What's he talking about? Is there somebody got to sign? So I sign it, get a copy, take it to my instructors. You want to go through all those processes to see what this is about. What I'm saying is that once you get there, you realize this is the impossible happening in front of you. Until you see someone else do it, it is the impossible being established in front of you. Now, what else are we going to do to keep the commentary live in the set? What else are we going to do to keep the jogging of this not being a vulnerability? This will build your power, your endurance, your strength, your core ethics, your center of equilibrium, your balance. Listen. Pay attention. The full hypnotic sway of motion has reached the considerable amounts of time. Like watching a movie. Chilling. Watch a movie, chill, lounge. Look at the full squat, full form. Every time. Bag is swinging. You want to be there. Feel that effect. Know that effect is real. Know what's happening. The twist. Got to twist it on the tarmac. Still 400 pounds twisting. How hard is it to get it back into position? Try it. Feel what it feels like. Go for 10 minutes just twisting it on the straightaway. And see when you get tired. So you have a feel and you have a grasp for what it's like to be going up, down, side to side, up, down, side to side, forward, backward. Every range of motion. So it's a well-rounded continuum throughout this process. What's going to be the deserving reality that will allow you to want to consist here? I'm just rapping to women right now, like, yo, babe, what's up? You just want to see how a brother will hold it down for you. But when it gets here, what do you do? Do you offer a soft drink? Ice cold water? Do you get excited and smile, clap your hands, and be assured and fluent that it's the real thing? what do you do? Do you propose the gratuity of the lifelong engagement of how serious you are is as how serious I am right now lifting this weight? Do you have that ability in you when thinking? Are these things processable and going through your mind? But then you can't really say. Because you don't know, could be a girl behind the curtain. Could be a girl standing over there. You don't know, but you're watching this. So you have to have the affluence and the ability to be noticed. So we've invited you here for the full theater setting. Of course, where you'd be able to have, 3 pages of questions. You went through those 3 pages of questions. Now you're getting into the artistic value, or maybe a theater stage stretch and dance and performance around this bag and me doing this lift. And you see how viable it is, not losing too much energy, same type of lift, same pull, just making it happen. So we'll give you some time to reflect about that. Think about that. Full commentary. Made the hat. Made the belt. Made the glove. Broke the record. And just weightlifting for time. Time check. So you've had some time to just view the left for a quick segment with no commentary. You bring it back to the full breath technique because we're coming into the 2-hour segment. We're in a movie state, you know. You get, the 3 minutes of credits at the end, which is like an hour, 57 minutes. And so, our grand finale is the power clean. We keep the power clean all the way through. So you get the breath technique, the full commentary. We want to show you that if we leave room for commercial space, it's just more dollar amount within the 2-hour time limit. Our private and confidential executive production is fully handled by MRH Gifting Service. We'd like to thank you for viewing. Today you can reach me at 253-304-9461. Email starofweed@mail.com. starofweed@gmail.com. Both email addresses are good. You have seen a full movie length, hour, 40-minute production set. You have seen the momentum being broken, and then having to get right back to it in the full power clean session to not lose the momentum to get here at this point. We had to keep the full conversational piece going so you know that the lift is real. So if you don't believe it's 400 pounds, because it is, and you want to be subjective to even if it was 100 pounds, and you just don't want to believe it's 400, but that's a good way to get it done. That is very good. And having that understanding. But because this is 400 pounds, we're setting the record. We have the weight belt, the hat to do it. When we allow, some of our people to value these features, this is all paid for equipment by Michael R. Henry of MRH Gifting Services. We have, of course, acknowledged the core things that just made me personally want to get up and get this done. Aside from the things that are competitive in their opponent state and nature. So, aside from all of that, this is what MRH does. This is how we get it done. In this closed caption, we'd like to thank all of our creditors that have supported us through this motion caption and feature long distance heavy band weightlifting world record. They know who they are. I'm Michael R. Henry of MRH Gifting Services. Fully holding it down right here in the power clean set. No authorized duplication is processable without the written consent of Michael R. Henry in disclosure as a disclosure statement. For those who want to pay for this service, that know it's real, accurate as a component to the makeup of MRH, athletically and educationally. Gotta get a time check, make sure we still rolling. See here, we still rolling. We'd like to thank those for viewing that make that possible. Live today, we are doing the diamond set, which is our black and white diamonds from special order and purchase, and also our clear diamond that is a special order purchase. These right now are being magnified in a massage duration for some of our finals in our class study. Getting that portion out and done to you while breaking the record. We are going to get a belt made up of gold, of course, for this applicable situation of weightlifting. All that should fall into place as you realize this is 400 pounds being moved. Right here, heavy bag weight, breaking the actual record that was set by wearing a weight belt, hat, and these gloves that I'm wearing. Full commentary is to complement the breath technique, long distance, marathon, training, hustling, grinding to get to the next level. Using every applicable sort of just self to be power clean. In this we have the duration of archaeology. Our archaeological excavations have reached 2 hours in the applicable process. Sand, dirt, and iron being moved in the heavy bag for hours. When we upload this to YouTube, as written off and owned the range from MRH of MRH Gifting Services. Paid to the order of Michael R. Henry. We give a special thanks to those who are able to make that contribution. Our address is 1600B Southwest Dash Point Road, Federway, Washington. Mailbox number 23, MRH Gifting Service. As you see, it's in the last few minutes, breaking full momentum. Going straight back to the lift and getting it done. In the last few minutes of the set and processing. MRH has provided you with the full camp the need and means of accessibility to get the job done. Right here, right now. He didn't leave room for commercial breaks, which means you'll have to go over the 2-hour marker or barrier that we have set for. For the duration of this power lift. Try to get a time check, see where we are. Flight deck time, 2 hours. Full power clean sets. 2 hours of flight deck time is like flying from here, Washington State, to California, or from here to Alaska. Power clean sets here. About a 2-hour flight, landing right about now. Probably about 1 hour 50 57-58 minutes for that pro session. In school and dialogue, we got a full power clean set for 2 hours straight. You can watch on video, upload, download while you're flying. Time check. Time check for 2 hours. Completion of the lift. We're hour 59 seconds. Completion of the lift. Ooh. Power clean up. We are finishing the lift in the full power clean motion at 2 hours. Please take note of that. Completing the full lift. Grind, twist, full squat into the bench over row. This grind and twist back to the front. As you can see here,